back to my channel Gabbabetic and welcome to today's video. Today's video is all about gluten-free baking. If you remember last year, if you watch my channel regularly, when I moved back to Ireland, which was like exactly a year ago, the first weekend I was back, there was a baking show in the local community. And I just decided I'd enter even though I'd literally been back home like 3 days or something. Well, now it is 1 year on and that show is on again, and they do have a gluten-free cake category, so I'm going to enter that. They also have another category which is called Bake Your Favorite Tray Bake. So I'm going to try that as well in the video today. I think it's just really fun to do these things every year, and then you get to bring your cake to the show and meet other people there and see if you win, fingers crossed. I did come second last year, so we will see this year if I come anywhere with either of the two bakes I'm going to make. I hope you liked the video. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up, comment down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And let's go and start baking. So I think the first thing that I'm going to start off with is going to be the gluten-free cake. And for the gluten-free cake, this year I want to make a Bundt cake, so I'm hoping to do a banana flavoured Bundt cake with like a kind of toffee caramelly sauce on top. So let's start making that. Okay, so to begin our Bundt cake, we obviously want it banana flavour. So I'm going to get 3 ripe bananas and I'm going to mash them up. The riper, the better, to be honest. So when you have the banana mashed up, put it to the side, and in your mixing bowl you're going to get your butter and you're going to cut it into little cubes like I've done here. And to the butter you're going to add in your brown sugar, and then we're going to beat it together. And I will always do this using a mixer instead of just a spoon. So I'm going to do this off camera and then show you the result. It should be really smooth. So this is how it looks, nice and smooth. There is more than it looks, it's just kind of lumped together. And next we're going to add in our mashed banana that we did earlier, and we're going to give that a mix together with the hand mixer. And after we have the banana done, we're going to add in 1 and a little bit more teaspoon of vanilla and give that a mix. Next we're going to add in our eggs. So I'm going to use 3 medium-sized eggs and I'm going to add them in one at a time, give them a mix, and then do that separate for each one. Okay, so this is my mix at the moment, and the final step is to actually add in the flour. But before we do this, I like to get my Bundt tin ready. Here is my Bundt tin. I'm not sure of the size of it, but if I do remember, I'll put it in the description down below. So obviously we need to grease this. You can use butter, but I actually think it works better with oil. So I'm using this olive oil, and what I just do basically is put a bit around it and rub it in with my fingers, and then I leave it until it collects in the bottom, and then I remove the excess. And the reason I do this before I add the final ingredient is you can see that the oil is starting to collect, so at the end we'll pour out any of the excess. So for now we just let that sit. And we go back to this. We have our bowl of gluten-free flour and we are going to sieve it into the mix. So I'm just going to go a bit at a time until I have it all sieved in. And when we have all this in, we can go ahead and give it a mix with our mixer. Ta-da! So finally our mix is ready to go. Now let's go back to our Bundt cake. See, this oil has collected down. I'm going to get rid of the excess. So I've done that now, and we go ahead and we add in our Bundt mixture, going all the way around, and then smooth it out on the top when we are done. Okay, so it is very smooth looking now. We are going to go ahead and put this in the oven. So it's at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to bake for about 50 minutes. That's 50 at that temperature. Don't open the oven in that time. Trust the process. It's going to be like a golden brown kind of color. Fingers crossed. And I'll get rid of this a little bit here. And the reason I've made it so smooth is because that part is actually going to be the base if you think about it. So you want it to look really well. So yeah, this is going in the oven for about 50 minutes and we'll pull it out and test if it's cooked with a skewer. So then we take a quick 5-minute break while that's in the oven, and we'll move on to our next bake while that cooks. So if you remember, I said I was making a gluten-free tray bake. I have to make 6 slices of my favorite tray bake. And I'm going to go for a raspberry cheesecake bar. So it's going to have like a gluten-free digestive biscuit base, then it's going to be cheesecake, and it's going to have raspberry on top. It's really, really nice for summer. I have practiced this before. This recipe is actually from Becky Excel's cookbook, and it's really, really good. So I want to give credit to her because it's a really good recipe. So we're going to go and make that now. And it's going to be very different to the Bundt cake. It will look so summery, I hope. Oh, also the Bundt cake smells so like banana. Like I wish you could smell the smells that's in the kitchen. And especially when it starts to cook in the oven, it's really, really good. So we'll do blood sugar and then we will go ahead and start on the raspberry cheesecake bars. The first thing we're going to start off with is our raspberries, and this is going to be the raspberry that goes in the filling and also some on top. So the recipe says around 230. That's like half of this, but it does say keep a few extra for the top as well, so do make sure you save some whole raspberries at the end too. So that's enough raspberries. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take these raspberries, put them over a medium heat and let them start to break down. So when our raspberries have cooked down a good bit, we are going to sieve them so that we just have our raspberry sauce. So here we go. We'll do a little bit at a time. It's kind of hard to do sometimes. It does take patience, that's what I would say. I kind of just tap it against the side and do this a bit by bit. So this is the little bowl of sauce I've collected. The recipe says you don't need this and to discard it. To be honest, I think that's a bit wasteful, so I usually keep this and use it for like pancakes or something in the morning. But we don't need it for now, so we're going to put our sauce back into this and put this back on the heat until it starts to thicken. And after it has thickened and reduced slightly, we're just going to leave it to cool and work on our base. For the base, we need our gluten-free biscuits. So these are gluten-free digestive biscuits, and we're going to crush them up into a crumb-like consistency. It says don't make it too fine, so we're going to crush them up into little bits. Alright, we're going crushing this up. And how can I film this video without having a taste? I'm going to take some insulin as well. But my blood sugar was 8.4 by the way, but let's crush these up. Okay, I smashed them up enough with this rolling pin, so any little extra bits like that, I'm going to make sure that they're okay, but that's kind of how I want it anyway, so I'm just going to get rid of any big bits and then we should be good. And we're going to add in our butter to this, and our timer just went off for the Bundt cake. Look at that colour, oh it's so good. Now the way to test with the Bundt cake, you can use a skewer or a toothpick, so just want to go right down into it and make sure it comes out dry. Perfect. Smells unreal and it looks really, really good, smooth, uniform shape. When I made it first to practice, it was just really bumpy, and this is way better. So now you have to leave this to cool in the tin for 40 minutes and then we will take it out. But really, really important that you keep it in the tin and set your 40-minute timer. While that's cooling over there, we'll go back to our base and we're going to add in our melted butter and just mix it in really well. Try to get butter on all of the bases, and you can even kind of break up a few pieces that are bigger while you do it too. When it's all mixed together, we're going to put it in our tin and we're going to bake it on its own for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to spoon it into here and make a nice even layer and then kind of compact it in, and then we're going to bake it. So here is our nice even layer. We're going to bake it in the oven for 10 minutes and then we will work on our filling. While the base is cooking, we can mix together our mascarpone and our sour cream in a mixing bowl. The whole tub is going to be very good. And then we mix it all together until it's really smooth. So it's going to have a really creamy taste. While I was mixing that, the alarm for the base went off, so it's here now. It's just a little bit more cooked and it'll hold together better. We also will reduce our oven to 120 degrees fan Celsius or 285 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're going to add in our sugar and 15 grams of gluten-free flour or corn flour. So you can see adding in that made it kind of a bit more stiff. Next we're going to go ahead and put in our eggs. So we'll put the eggs in one at a time and mix between each one. Over this, we're going to grate the zest of one lemon. And don't come for my grating skills because I literally hate grating things. Literally buy grated cheese because that is how much I hate using a grater. So we're going to put in the zest of the whole lemon and then 1.5 tablespoons of juice. And I did say 1.5 teaspoons. I'm just going to judge it roughly. Let's say that's probably enough. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, which might be my last out of this, to be honest. So now we finally get to do the fun part. So we take 2 tablespoons of this mixture out on its own into a bowl. Don't know why, but whenever I put my camera in this orientation, it just doesn't work, so it's really annoying. So sorry for that, it's moving down. Into this little bowl, we add in all of our raspberry reduction from earlier, and we mix this together until it's all incorporated in and it's really, really smooth pink color. So we have our lovely pink mixture here, and we are going to bring over our base, which has been cooling, and to the base we're going to add in all of the regular mixture. And while you're doing it, really try to not pull up any of the crumb base. You can see I pulled up a bit here by mistake, so I'm going to take that out, but try just put it on it and smooth it, and don't pull up the underneath. And then here's the most fun part. You're going to get your pink mixture and you're going to spoon it on top. So just kind of do swirls, whatever you feel like. And then we just get our skewer and we start to make some swirly patterns. And don't forget to put some raspberries on top too for that extra touch. And then, you know, there's egg in it, so we do have to bake it. We're going to put it in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes until the edges are kind of brown and it's a little bit wobbly still. The moment of truth for this cake. So it's been cooling for 40 minutes, and now is the time that we put it out onto the wire tray. And see, did it work? And it's stuck. Got it! Woo! Oh, it looks so good. So I love how you can see the swirls on the top. I'm so happy. I was genuinely afraid it was stuck in there, but thank God it's okay, and you can see the shape really well. So I'm really happy how it turned out, and it is well cooked. So we're going to leave this to cool, and then we're going to do our topping. Oh my God, I really needed a break from all that baking. It's so warm in there, so I'm just playing with Lana outside, and then we'll go back and check on the tray bake. Now this next part is kind of strange. So you bake it in the oven until slightly wobbly and a little brown around the edges. Then don't take the tin from the oven, leave it, turn the oven off, leave the door ajar. Let it cool completely, and then when it's done, put it in the fridge for at least 3 hours, or ideally overnight. That is my plan, to put it overnight. I'm just having a look at it now before I turn the oven off. Oh, it's very wobbly. It needs more time. That's too wobbly. While our cheesecake bars are still cooking, we will focus on our Bundt cake. So we're gonna go ahead and make a like fudge, sticky, toffee, caramelly sauce. It's just 3 ingredients: butter, sugar, cream, and then we heat it on a low heat until it melts and pour it all over the Bundt cake. Here is our fudgy, sticky, toffee, caramelly sauce. It's so good. So we're gonna just let it cool a little bit and stir it a bit so it keeps thickening. And then we're going to pour it on the cake. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it all onto my Bundt cake. And obviously I'm putting it on this plate tonight to set, and then I will put it on a proper serving thing tomorrow. And pour it all over like this. And it can be messy because we'll be moving it to a different place tomorrow anyway. Okay, so this is our gluten-free sticky toffee banana Bundt cake. I'm really happy, and I know it's going to taste really good. So I'm gonna just leave this out to set overnight. I'll cover it with a lid later on, but it will set overnight at room temperature, and I'll show you it in the morning. Let's have a look 20 minutes later. That's a bit better, I think. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. It did say turn the oven off, leave door open, and allow it to cool completely. Alright, so it's being left there for a while, and then we'll check on it when it's cooled. I'll show you it when I put it in the fridge. Okay, so I have let this cool in the oven. It's completely cold now. Does it have a bit of... It looks good. Does it have a jiggle to it? It's definitely set. So I'm going to put it in the fridge overnight. Okay, so that is my baking done for the day. We're going to leave the things overnight to cool and set, and then we're going to bring them to the show tomorrow. Tent for the show opens at 10 till 11:30, and then the judging's at 12. I'm gonna bring it like more towards the 11:30 side because I don't want anything to melt. It's supposed to be super hot tomorrow, so fingers crossed nothing melts. And yeah, so we'll see tomorrow how our cakes go, and I'll show you a bit of the show. So it is now the morning of the show, and I'm gonna go and get the cakes ready, and I think they really set overnight. So here is the banana Bundt cake. So we're gonna go ahead and put this onto this kind of fancy stand here, and then we'll slice up the tray bake. So I decided to go ahead and put the little flowers on top for now because I think it makes it a bit summery. I don't know though, I might change my mind. So this is how it looks now. So this one is done and ready to go. And now we're going to work on slicing up the tray bake. And I need to have 6 slices for the show. So Just taking the tray bake out of the tin, so you can see it has made a nice shape along the sides. Obviously some bits are going to come off, but we're going to trim them when we slice it up. So now it's ready to be sliced. I'm cutting now, but my boyfriend's cutting for me and he says it's like surgery. Here is my 6 slices. So they look really, really good from the side. That one's the corner one, so look at those layers at the side, especially this one. This one's really, really good, the biscuit, then the base. So they're my 6 tray bakes. I have 3 spare in case something happens, like one falls, or I can just have them myself as a snack after. So we're gonna go and bring these to the show. So here is the gluten-free cake, any variety, brownies, cake here, my cake, and then I think this is the last one. This one looks really good as well, and it has all the ingredients, which is great. So that's gluten-free cake. So a few more, and then bake your favorite tray bake. So there's mine, the cheesecake. They look really good. Brownies, coffee cake, carrot cake. There's lots of entries here, so they all look really good. So we'll see how I do. So here is the show. I'll just show you a clip of it because I can't stay. But if you remember last year, it was literally lashing rain, so I didn't even get to go and have a look around. But yeah, this is it. Lots of different stands, stuff for kids, food, toys, and there'll be things like dog shows and competitions later on. So yeah, lovely. So back home now. Back home now, and Lana's a bit hyper, but now the cakes stay there until 5 o'clock, and then I go back and see if I won anything. So I will catch up with you then. So I got first prize for my tray bake, woohoo! And here's what came second, and also there, and then third. So did really good there. That's first, second, and then third. Then highly recommended. So actually, in addition to winning first prize, I actually won the trophy, best in the baking class and best in the 10th of all the exhibits. So I'm so happy. So I'm home and I am so happy. I cannot believe what I won. Like when I got there, I didn't even realize these were for me. So just to clarify, in case it was a bit not clear in the video there, for my banana Bundt cake, I got highly commended, which I'm really happy about that anyway. And then for my tray bake, I got first prize, which also meant then that I was entered into the best overall cake and then the best in the show. So best in show was like out of the cakes, out of the arts and crafts, out of everything like that. This is my trophy for best overall exhibit in the cakes. So this one you don't get to keep, it's a perpetual trophy, so you can put your name on it and then it gets passed on to the next person each year. But look at this! This one is for best in show, so I get to keep this one, and this one is for best out of everything. So my cake won first prize out of all of the cakes, the crafts and everything else there, so I'm so happy! Just put my trophies up there, and to end the video I'm going to try a slice of the winning tray bake. So this is the biscuit layer on the bottom, you can see it held together really well, and the cheesecake layer with the raspberries, and I am so happy because this won me so many prizes. I think what's so nice about it is that it's so refreshing. Like it's a really, really hot summer's day. It's the 3rd of June today. It's really hot, and this is just a really refreshing way to have a dessert. Also, the fact that this won first in the show and out of the cakes is amazing to me because it's gluten-free and it was against everything that wasn't gluten-free. So it just goes to show you that gluten-free is as good as non-gluten-free. This actually won out of everything. If you want to know more about gluten-free baking. I did an article for the Celiac Society of Ireland, so I'll link that in the description down below if you want to go and read that and read all about baking gluten-free and entering competitions. To end the video here, I really hope you enjoyed it. Definitely let me know if you try out either of the recipes or if you have any other recipes that you recommend. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the video. Please give it a big thumbs up, comment down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I will see you all in the next video.